should we call this brave new world that you've whipped up for us?
I think it's something more. Something darker.
I was thinking Flashpoint.
Hey everybody, what should we call this brave new DC movie universe that Ezra Miller is going to whip up for us? So this is going to be a video all about the Flashpoint movie. There have been a couple things that have changed, and a lot of that has to do with what's going on in and around Justice League. I've gotten a whole bunch of questions now about what's going to happen, given that they've confirmed that Batman will be a big part of the story of Flashpoint, but they're not doing the exact same comic book storyline. If you've never seen any of my videos before, we do comic book stuff every week. We got crazy stuff with Infinity War coming down the road and Star Wars. Make sure you subscribe to get everything. There's a weekly Flash Ring giveaway that's going on right now. I'll explain at the end of the video. But in order to explain what's going on with Flashpoint, you have to understand Justice League, so just careful for spoilers if you haven't seen Justice League yet. So at the end of that movie, you have the birth of the modern Justice League, minus Green Lantern and a couple other members. I know everybody wants to know, where's Martian Manhunter? Who knows? He could pop up anywhere at this point. But almost everybody is familiar with some version of the Flashpoint story, whether you read the comic book, whether you watched the animated movie, which is basically the exact same thing as the comic book, or you saw the TV show version and you understand the concept at least. Barry goes back in time to save his mother, but in doing so, just completely screws the timeline. Recently, Jeff Johns has been talking about all the stuff that's coming up because there was a bunch of news with Shazam and the other films, so naturally the Flashpoint movie was a part of that discussion. He said that they have their script, they're looking for the director, but he actually talked about what the story was going to be like, some of the elements, because there are a couple big question marks. It's really expensive to put these Justice League actors in films, so you can't just assume that they would do the comic book story with every single Justice League character you've ever seen in your entire life. He said the Flashpoint movie will explore new ground, just meaning that they're going to change the comic book story based on the elements that they're working with. Like, they've established a set backstory for all these characters, they've interacted with each other, so that's going to play into the story of Flashpoint. Naturally, everyone freaked out when he said that name, Batman. Why did you have to say that name? Because that means that they might be able to do Thomas Wayne. He did not confirm Thomas Wayne, although Jeffrey Dean Morgan has been really coy. I posted a video a little while ago of him being cagey.
Of Thomas Wayne, Batman, Bruce Wayne's father.
And it looked a little bit like Javier Bardem.
Yeah. It looked like both of you. Yes, because you look almost identical to Javier Bardem. So, you, at that time, you didn't say yes, you didn't say no.
Right.
But now I've learned that there's some comic series where Thomas Wayne is a Batman, like a Dad Batman or something.
Yeah.
Are you going to be playing
Paradox universe.
Batman.
Flashpoint Batman.
In the Flash movie?
Obviously, he couldn't say anything no matter what, so it's not like he's going to say, yeah, I'm definitely in the Flashpoint movie. He could just be really funny about it and try and talk around it. Gotta get that discretionary bonus for keeping those secrets. If you didn't know, actors are forced to keep things secret, but they get a bonus for doing that. So if they don't give away spoilers, they get like an extra chunk of change when the movie comes out. And everybody loves money, so of course they keep their mouths shut. But then there's Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, there's Cyborg, there's Aquaman. Like, there's the whole storyline when Aquaman and Wonder Woman are in that ship and you have Themyscira at war with the Atlanteans. It's this whole big thing that has very little to do with the Flash's singular story about him trying to save his mother and his war with the Reverse Flash. It's just all part of the larger global conflict that he causes because of the Flashpoint timeline. So when we're talking about the actual Flashpoint movie, you just have to be realistic about the perspective that the film is going to take. Obviously, it's mostly going to follow around Ezra Miller's character, and because of the box office performance of Justice League, I think they're going to not call it Justice League Flashpoint. They'll just call it something like Flashpoint and keep it really simple, or they'll say The Flash, Flashpoint. The other important part of the conversation is what are they going to use Flashpoint to change in the DC extended universe? How are they going to reset character personalities? Because they've kind of already done that with Superman. They retconned him just a little bit between Batman v Superman and now. A lot of you asked me if it's going to be a straight-up reboot of the DC universe, and then there's a lot of confusion about the comic book Flashpoint storyline and what's changed when he comes back, like how he resets things when he fixes it at the end of the story. The important thing to remember is they're not rebooting the DC movie universe. What they're doing is they'll just tune the character personalities a little bit, and that's pretty much it. The most major thing that they could possibly do would be to transition from Ben Affleck's Batman to another version of the Batman. But honestly, I think they'll just save that for the Batman Matt Reeves movie. I don't think that they would try to do something so big with the Batman character in somebody else's movie because it's a Flash movie, and if they changed to a different version of the Batman at the end of that, that's all people would be talking about. It'd be all about this new Batman coming into the universe, and it's really a story about the Flash dealing with grief in the death of his mother, so they want you to focus on that. So that's why I don't think they're going to shoehorn in any big Batman changes. But when it comes to the other Justice League members, honestly, I think it'll be cameo level. So remember how much Aquaman we got during Justice League? That's probably about the same amount of Aquaman we'll get during the Flashpoint movie. So he'll get some really cool stuff to do, and we'll get to see an alternate version of him because events will have changed. But because of how controversial the CG has been during Justice League, I think they'll pull back just a little bit and try to focus more on the character work. So I'm not expecting them to do a war between the Amazons and Atlantis. They might tease some fight between the Justice League the way we got at the Monument with Superman, just a slightly different version of that. Jeff Johns talked about the Batman story of it all. Obviously, that's very important, the Thomas Wayne Batman. But what about the Superman story of it all? During the comic book storyline, Superman's pod had been taken by the government, and as a baby, he'd just been kept underground, so he never got the full dose of sunlight, so he's in this weakened state. So Flash and Cyborg have to go break him out. We just got done watching a version of the world dealing with the death of Superman. Everything went to shit, so that's pretty much what it looks like during Flashpoint. So I don't think they're going to do the exact same thing 2 times in a row. Remember that time when everything was really shitty? Superman was dead, they thought he was gone? Well, we're going to show you what it looks like when he was never around. It's also super shitty, so I'm expecting some changes to the Superman storyline. They'll probably slim down the roster of characters quite a bit, and then obviously the biggest new thing is Reverse Flash. We've gotten no sign of him in the DC universe yet, other than the plot twist of Barry's father being falsely accused of his mother's murder. So that's just the tee-up for him finding out that Reverse Flash is really the person who came back to kill his mother. And I know, in terms of story, I actually used some of that Batman v Superman footage because it was kind of their version of Flashpoint that they were already setting up. Him telling Batman about Lois so that they could prevent the nightmare version of Superman from coming to pass. So because the DC universe has taken such a left turn in the tone of everything, I don't think that they're going to go back to that. I think originally that's what Flashpoint was going to look like, but I think they've changed their mind since then. They'll try to promote Superman as a more hopeful figure, so whatever his role is in Flashpoint, he's not going to be an evil version of himself, because we kind of already got a version of that at the Monument. But as for right now, there's no release date because they haven't had that director. Once they get the director and they have their script the way they want it, then they'll announce the release date. But we have Aquaman coming out December 21st next year. Shazam coming out April 5th, 2019. Tentatively, Zachary Levi was just cast as that character. We have Wonder Woman 2, which is now set for November 1st, 2019. There's the Batman movie. Obviously, we don't know when the release date's going to be. The Cyborg movie is still on the schedule. Green Lantern Corps still on the schedule. They're getting ready to cast the movie version of Nightwing. We'll probably find out who that is in the next 6 months. Joss Whedon is still doing the Batgirl movie. There have been some rumors about that. There may be another Justice League film, but if the film doesn't perform the way they want it to, like in the next month or so, if it doesn't make the amount of money that they want, they'll probably wait at least 5 to 6 years before trying to do it again. And you just see characters popping up and helping out every once in a while, the way you saw Iron Man during Spider-Man Homecoming. Like you saw little tags during Wonder Woman, so it is connected to the other movies. So just expect the interconnectedness of the universe to look like that going forward. There's a new round of that Flash Ring giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on the video. Congratulations to the winner from the last video, Rhino Jordan. Please private message me so I can get your contact details. You can click here to learn about all the big Justice League deleted scenes and deleted storylines, and click here for the latest big Flash crossover trailer. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. Happy Thanksgiving.